Good morning, everybody. Outside the Box Score with me, Mark Rowlands, right here on the Score 1260, your home for local sports in Syracuse. It's a beautiful Saturday here in Syracuse, and what makes it even better is I'm joined by a very special guest. You heard him last week. He's back.
Hey.
Josh Boehme.
That's right. Thanks
back
for
in the
having me
studio, of course. Is this because we're just playing golf after and you happen to be in town? Maybe.
Could be.
Maybe it is. But Josh is back. You'll actually hear more from Josh on these airwaves next week, next Friday on the Manchild Show with Boy Green. Manchild not going to be around. He's going to be taking a little trip, going on a little vacay to Pittsburgh for the weekend. So instead of the Manchild Show with Boy Green, it's going to be me and Josh. It's basically going to be
the Mark and Josh Show.
It's the Mark and Josh Show.
Friday on the Score.
So it's going to be the two of us on Friday as well. There's also the lovely interns, Kyle and Allie, will be on the show as well. Going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait to have Josh back in the fold on the Score 1260. Big week this week in terms of Syracuse sports. We're going to go through the Syracuse basketball news. Judah Mintz returning in shocking fashion. I can't believe he's coming back.
It was odd, especially after the pre-draft, analysis of where he could go in the NBA draft to come back. It means a lot probably for him.
Yeah, I mean, he was going to be a second-round pick.
Yeah.
There was no chance he was going to sneak into the first round. Sadly, I wish he would have, but he probably will next year. He's that good. But he wasn't going to be a first-round pick, and now Syracuse has a backcourt to dream on. Judah Mintz and J.J. Starling.
It's big time.
It's big time. This team is going to be very good if Adrian Autry can coach even a little bit. We'll see. I think he can. I personally am a big believer in Coach Red, but if he can't, that will be the only thing that holds this team back. Talent-wise, they're very good. And we're going to go through, I've got a roster analysis here from Mike McAllister, who we actually talked to on Thursday on the Manchild. Or, no, it was yesterday. It was yesterday we talked to Mike. What days or anything.
Yeah. Who cares?
Yeah, it was yesterday we talked to Mike on the Manchild Show. And that interview's up on the Score 1260 SoundCloud if you want to listen to it. It was Jim Lurch and Mike McAllister had a very good interview. And so I've got a roster analysis from him on Syracuse on Fan Nation, which is the website he runs. So we're going to go through the roster with Judah Mintz coming back. We're going to talk about everything that this team can do next year. Also, big week in high school sports, sectional finals. Sectionals are over, and we're going to go through some of the big winners from around here in the sectional championship. Sadly, some of the big losers as well. Some of the local schools went down in the sectional finals, so we'll have to talk about that as well. I know some of the kids that lost in finals, and talking to them this week, it was just they were so bummed out, especially a couple of the kids from West Hill for baseball and lacrosse.
Yeah,
weren't able to get it done, but still a great season for them nonetheless. So we'll talk all about that and more, and your phone calls, 315-671-1260. Phone lines open for the entirety of the show, 315-671-1260. Quick timeout. We'll come back, talk everything Syracuse basketball right here on Outside the Box Score with me, Mark Rowlands, on the Score 1260.
that mic?
Yeah, mics are hot.
Yep.
Show.
So they're good, but is this talk about how they're kind of small this year compared to last year, or no? I mean, just without the Edwards presence.
We're going to get into that because they've got 3 centers now.
Oh, okay.
One of them is a high school recruit coming next year, and one of them is a center, and one of them was a transfer, and one of them was here last year. I think the shortest one is 7'1".
Oh, so they got height.
They got a lot of height.
Okay.
Might be a little Florida State action, just like none of them play more than 15 minutes.
Yep, just keep rotating
them.
I don't hate that.
Yeah, they're all
keep them fresh.
Very large.
Okay.
I'm very excited.
Okay.
I don't know if any of them
big boys can ball. Yeah.
I don't know if any of them can play basketball,
but their size tells you that they can, just all you got to do if you're on that team, just get the ball, rebound it, and give it back to your best players, which is your backcourt, no matter who's playing. Let me see if anyone's in the Twitch chat.
No, not right now. I also didn't send out a tweet. I gotta do that. Yeah, I mean, this morning was brutal.
Playing golf. I played golf. What was it? Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I play Monday in my league.
Love that.
It's a lot. It's a lot. I love too that yesterday we won that raffle, and I'm telling the guy, they're like, "Oh, so what's great? That's great, man. Like, what do you guys do in Rochester?" I'm like, "I just got laid off, and I'm using my severance package to buy this right now." And he goes, "Wow, that's that's kind of crazy." And I'm like, "It is, right?" And he goes, "What'd you do?" And I told him like, "Oh, I just got my master's, SU, whatever." He's like, "Oh, really?" He's like, "You know, the charity. I mean, this is a great networking opportunity, man. Like, I'd love to reach out and tell me what you can do, and maybe there's a spot here." And I'm like, Hey, fatty.
Hey.
Nonprofit's great. I get to lie to people. They're like, what's your thing? I'm like, just really understanding people. All that means is lying through my teeth to people, okay? I need to understand you to sell you something and screw you, ultimately. It's tough when you go to those things. You get some guys that are they get too drunk and because ultimately it is like a fun joke. Sometimes you're out on the course and the cart girl's like, you want to do some shots? And you're like, and she's like, it's for the kids. And you're like, all right,
It's for the kids.
When it's not for the kids is when they're doing the raffle and they have this 9-year-old girl who's been like through the charity, has gone through multiple surgeries, and she's reading like 4, 3, 7, and fuck these like drunk people in the back are yelling like it's for the kids, and it's like speak up, and it's like she's the girl. It's not for the kids now. That is the kid.
That's the kid.
You don't roast the kid. She's going through surgery. She's 9. She's got like 2 surgeries a year for her entire life.
God.
She's, I don't know the quality of life there, but I'm like, this girl's dying, and they're just, having a good joke in the back, and I'm like, guys, people hate you. And then Dan and Junior join. They start yelling out. I'm like, guys, nobody likes those people. They're having a good time behind us, but they're bad people. They're bad. They're bad people.
All right. Tweets out.
It's out. Here it is.
Time to retweet it from the Score account. Boom. Yeah, we'll do the Man-Child Show account too. Why not?
There it is, Fatty.
There it is, Fatty.
You know, Mark, when I told you I was going to come do the show today. Thanks for having me on, Mark.
I was going to say, we didn't do a single Regis last week. And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, right here on the Score 1260, your home for local sports in Syracuse. So let's talk some SU basketball. Now, Josh, full disclosure.
Yeah.
You're a Georgetown fan.
That's right. But I'm also an SU alumni. So,
exactly.
It works.
But it also doesn't work.
No, for every game out of the year that they don't play the Hoyas, I'm an SU fan.
Yeah, you're in.
I mean, through now after going to the school. Yeah. Obviously, before then, hate Syracuse. Yeah, but now I got to root for the alumni.
Yeah.
Big D1 program.
Big time D1 program. And it's going to be a big time year for Syracuse. Judah Mintz coming back. Announced that he was returning to Syracuse after testing the NBA draft waters. And I don't want to say I saw this coming because I didn't. I was surprised. But there's a thing that Judah always tweets or puts on Instagram.
Okay.
When he's done it since he committed to SU. Like his commitment tweet had hashtag don't overthink it. Which is interesting.
Yeah.
Then when he announced that he was testing the NBA draft waters, it was hashtag don't overthink it. And I'm not one to really get in the weeds about the cryptic tweets and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But that gave me some hope. It was like, okay, he used the same thing. It's not something he uses all the time.
Right.
He used the same thing when he committed to Syracuse. So maybe this is a little hint like, hey, there's a decent chance
I'll
I
go
come
try
back.
it out.
Yeah.
But ultimately, don't
Yeah.
overthink. Yeah.
And yeah, exactly. Don't overthink it.
Yep.
And of course, we all did.
And so did he. I mean, he took till the very last second.
Which
I mean,
of course he
kinda
did.
overthought it a
Yeah,
little
he
bit.
overthought it. But no, of course he took until
Yeah.
3 hours before the deadline and
Yeah.
announced it. But this is massive.
Mm.
Judah Mintz is going to be a first-round draft pick next year. He is going to be I think, a good NBA player. I'm not going to say he's going to be a superstar or anything, but I think he's going to succeed in the NBA. And I think that Judah is a pretty decent bet if you want to put it out there right now to win ACC Player of the Year next year.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of relies on the team a little bit in those
Yeah.
things, but ultimately the team is the best it's looked on paper in a while.
Yeah, it's
So,
and certainly in terms of excitement level going into an SU basketball season, it's been years since I've been this excited to watch SU basketball.
It's the biggest change-ups they've had in years. It's not just coach. I mean, it goes beyond coach, but
Yeah.
ultimately, changing the coach up,
Mhm.
getting your star player back, a big transfer coming in. You lose 2 good seniors, but,
It's not just one, JJ Starling obviously is the
Sure.
top tier, and the fact that he didn't come to Syracuse out of high school is ridiculous anyway.
Yeah.
I would have given him $1 million. Just be like, come to Syracuse.
It's illegal back then,
you're
Mark.
well, yeah, but you're from Baldwinsville.
Yeah.
Come to Syracuse. The amount of high school talent around here that Syracuse doesn't recruit has always made me mad. But you're from Baldwinsville. Go to Syracuse.
Yeah.
But it's not just him. You got Kyle Cuff, who's a guard coming out of Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
You got Chance Westry, who's a guard coming out of Auburn. You've got Naheem McLeod, who's probably going to be the starting center next year out of Florida State. 7'3".
They got some size down low.
Size. Three just massive guys. I know Jesse is a big loss. Jesse was fantastic last year, and that's going to be a big loss. But you've got Naheem McLeod, who's 7'3". You've got Monir Hema, who was on the team last year, who's 7'1". And I'm blanking on the guy's name. They've got a high school, I'll get it. It's right here. William Patterson.
Okay.
Who's 7'4".
There's some big boys down low.
7'2". I'm sorry. He's 7'2".
Okay.
So you got 7'3", 7'2", 7'1".
Yep.
There's some size. And do they go the Florida State route and just, none of you are playing more than 15 minutes a game, but you're all going to get your 15 minutes and just rotate them in and out, block some shots, get some boards. That's how I personally would attack it. Now, I'm not a Division I college basketball coach. Adrian Autry is. So we'll see how Adrian Autry does it. But it's a good problem to have for sure. And the thing is, Hema was great defensively last year. He led, for a while, he was leading the country in block percentage. He was playing 8 minutes and getting 2 blocks a game. It was unreal how good I think he had 1 5-block game, 1 4-block game. He was unreal on the defensive end. Couldn't score. But if they're there for just putbacks, dunks, alley-oop, rebounds and defense, with this offense between Mintz, Starling, Chris Bell is going to get better. Justin Taylor is going to get better. Benny Williams, hopefully.
That's my guy.
Yeah, I love Benny. I remember I went to, it was opening day of Benny's freshman year. So not this past season, but the season before. And they were playing, I want to say Lafayette.
Okay.
And
close matchup probably for him back then.
They won by 50. And watching Benny in warm-ups, I don't think I've ever seen an athlete that just glides like he does. I've talked about it a bunch of times on air. Benny Williams is an unbelievable athlete. He can jump out of the gym. The shots started falling towards the end of the year last year. All of a sudden, Benny was making a lot of threes. And if he scores 15, 16 points a game this year, no one should be surprised. I firmly believe that.
He's definitely, on my mind, the most improved probably candidate coming into this season from last season's team.
Absolutely.
He's going to be in the best position to do it with more minutes, more of a secured role in the offense. Benny Williams, the sky is the ceiling for this guy.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought when he was coming in, I was worried before the season. I was like, we're only going to have him for 1 year.
Yeah.
Because I thought he was like, first round
good.
NBA. That's how good I thought he was. And he hasn't reached that potential yet. I think Benny Williams could easily still be an NBA player.
Oh, yeah.
Easily. I think he's that good. We just have to see it. But this team, legitimately, and Bill the FedEx guy just messaged in on Twitter. He said Autry could go 10 deep on this team.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty easily. Here's the current roster. Backcourt, Kyle Cuff, Judah Mintz, J.J. Starling, Chance Westry. Got a guy from Kansas, a guy from Auburn, a Notre Dame transfer who's, local kid, but very good, and your star point guard.
Kids are going to want minutes, too. You come from those
Yeah.
big programs to,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Q's obviously nationally still a developing program, probably to most people. Not developing in the sense of, like, notoriety, but it's success over the last 10
Syracuse, years. This is an interesting conversation.
I don't mean to nickel and dime Syracuse.
No, this is an interesting conversation because is Syracuse a blue blood?
Oh, it's so close. I mean, it's like
they're right there, dude. It's only the one title is what gets them.
Yeah,
it's only the you had the coach that was there for 100 years. You got the Final Fours. You got they've lost national championship games. It's just they're so close.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's just I think it's the next tier down of the blue blood. I think once you get past the Dukes, UNCs, Kentucky.
Yeah, so it's Duke, UNC, Kentucky,
North Carolina.
Yeah, I said UNC. No, yeah, Duke, UNC, Kentucky, Michigan State. I consider a blue blood.
Yeah,
but also Tom Izzo only has one title.
Yeah, but that's where you get tricky.
But they have more tournament success than Syracuse does.
Does moving to the ACC, did that hurt? I mean, they probably have way more Big East titles. I mean, if they stuck with the Big East for the last 15 years, whatever.
Yeah.
It has to, playing with an upper level of competition.
Yeah,
definitely
it's been 10 years since they moved. That's the thing. So you had to make the move to the ACC because of football.
Yeah.
The money in football is
totally
what
get
did it.
Totally get it.
And for basketball, they don't fit. They don't fit in the ACC. I'm sorry. They never have. I know that it was great. We got the Duke matchups. Coach K and Boeheim, two longtime friends. They coached the Olympic team together, and Roy Williams when he was at UNC. And it's like, it's every time they play, it's a rematch of the championship game when he was at Kansas and we beat Kansas. But they're a Big East team.
It's always been the little brother since they've joined that wants to play with Duke and UNC.
Yeah.
And as much as they pitch, when the basketball schedule comes out every year, it's their three big games are Duke, UNC, and Georgetown, wherever it is. Last year was in Syracuse. This year will be in Georgetown, whatever. Those two games that they play with Duke and UNC always feel like big games for them. But I don't know if at UNC, do they play Syracuse and they're like, this is a big game we got to get up for? It's just not the same.
It's not the same. Well, also, UNC cares about one game out of the year.
Right. Duke, that's their own thing. Yes, but
that's their own thing. So, but we don't have our biggest rival is Georgetown.
Yeah.
I get more excited for an SU Georgetown game, even with how bad the Hoyas have been in recent years.
Yep.
Than I do for an SU UNC game. Duke is, Duke's Duke. Yeah. But yeah, I get more excited for Georgetown, Villanova. St. John's is still. We played St. John's last year, and it was a battle.
It was hard to grow new rivalries in these college sports, especially as you feel like players with the transfer portal opening up like it is now, which it's like free agency.
Yeah,
guys don't stay as hard. It's not like you build up hatred for teams.
No.
I mean, and this boomer take 101. This is old school. Basketball's changed, man.
Buddy, we're in Syracuse, New York.
Yeah,
this is the take everyone has.
It's true, though, right? I mean, people leave and they don't. I mean, Gerard is an anomaly in today's game.
Yeah.
And even he left.
And he's at Clemson.
He had the extra year and he still walked. So, like, guys just don't do it like that anymore. Grayson Allen is the last example I can find of a guy who stayed 5 years at a program and put it in and had true heat. People hated this guy. He hated UNC.
Yeah.
It was the last example I can find of that.
Yeah, Grayson Allen. I hate that guy.
A lot of people do.
Like that's
he was
the
a
thing.
great villain.
Duke has the best villains
Yeah.
between Leitner and Grayson Allen and J.J. Redick.
Everybody hates Duke.
Yeah, everybody hates Duke. I wonder where that came from. Just the national hatred for Duke.
I mean, it's kind of like, probably the success, right? I mean, people like to hate something that's doing good.
But there isn't national hatred for the Yankees.
Yeah, I guess there's not. Not as much. There's more regard for them, and unless you're in Boston or Northeast, you can hate them. But yeah, true, the Yankees. But then you go to not to pull this one too, but like the Cowboys, they get a lot of hate nationally.
Yeah, but they're also quote unquote America's team, which I think is a load of BS.
That's right. That's success, brings haters.
They're not America's team. we can have this argument someday. It should be Philadelphia.
As America's team?
Yes.
The Liberty Bell?
It should. Yes, it should. It's the birthplace.
Liberty.
It's the birthplace of America. Why is Philadelphia not America's team? I'll never understand that.
Ben Franklin was a fraud. Okay, let's start there. Ben Franklin.
Ben Franklin was a fraud.
I gave him a set of crayons and some coloring books by the end of his days, okay? He was hardly a founder of anything.
Oh, man. Anyway, back to Syracuse basketball. I started reading off the roster, and we got that derailed after the guards. We went from...
Give me the forwards.
Yeah, the forwards. All familiar names. Chris Bell, Malik Brown, Kadir Copeland, Justin Taylor, Benny Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Kadir Copeland can be a swing guy. He can play guard. Same with Justin Taylor. He can play two guard. So there's a lot of minutes there. I really like Kadir Copeland. We didn't see much of him last year, but he's a playmaker.
Okay.
And that's what I like about him. He honestly can play like a true point guard. He can pass the ball. He can play defense.
Yep.
He can do it all. The scoring isn't great, but everything else, I'm a big fan of his. We talked about Benny. He's going to take a lead.
Right.
Justin Taylor can shoot the lights out. This guy, when he got opportunities last year, he went nuts. I'm trying to remember what game it was when he had like 28 points and made 7 3-pointers or something. Like, he can go off and shoot the lights out. So we'll see if he can actually get some shots. Malik Brown, swingman towards center as well.
Mm-hmm.
He's 6'10", 6'11", I think.
Yeah, he can play low.
Yeah, he can play down low. Good defender, good rebound, really good rebounder. And Chris Bell, probably going to be in the starting lineup. We'll see if they go small ball or more traditional. If they go small ball, he would come off the bench. But he can shoot. We saw, the shooting ability at times last year. That's a great group of forwards. And then the centers, we talked about Munir Hema, Naheem McLeod, and William Patterson. Also throw Peter Carey in there as well. He was a freshman last year. He's 6'11", 7 foot. I think they might all be 7 feet tall. Unreal size.
Talking about Copeland, though, back to him, you said he's more of a selfless player.
Yeah.
It's kind of what Syracuse needs. You talk about going 10 deep. People are going to want minutes. You kind of need a guy who's going to be okay with not shooting 10, 15 shots a game. I mean,
for sure.
He can pass around. That's something this team's going to value a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think he'll get more minutes. We barely saw him last year, but when we saw him, it was good. I enjoy Kadir Copeland's style of play. I think it's going to be a really, really fun year. And then, obviously the subtractions. You lose Jesse to West Virginia. You lose Gerard to Clemson. Samir Torrance transferred to Binghamton, which will...
Must be paying out a lot of cash down in Binghamton.
Like, Syracuse to Binghamton.
Binghamton's backing up the bridge.
Granted, Samir Torrance, with this group of guards, would not get much playing time.
Yeah.
And he will start and play 30 minutes at Binghamton. So that's... I'm interested to see how he does there, because I liked Samir as a backup point guard, just sort of distributor, good defender, again, not a great scorer, but he was fun to watch. So we'll see how he does there. And then John Bolajak is in the transfer portal somewhere. He's going somewhere at some point.
Someone's going to take that guy.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't found a school yet. He's been in the transfer portal for months.
Maybe the Colgates of the world or somewhere.
Yeah, it very well could be. Binghamton, him and Samira running the pick and roll for the Bearcats. But like I said, this is just going to be a fun year.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been this excited for SU basketball going into a season in a long time.
A lot to look forward to.
There's a lot to look forward to. This team's going to be good. We, on the Man-Child show the other day, we set the over-under for wins. The schedule isn't out yet.
Yep.
At 20.5.
That's high.
They won 17 last year.
Yeah, I guess it seems high still, but true. 17, when you think about it.
They went 17 and 15. Like,
yeah.
17 is two. So
they
it
should be able to win 20 games.
Yeah, it's essentially, will they be, they play 31 games.
Yeah.
So will they be in the top 3 ACC teams?
Which they could be. The ACC's gotten less top heavy.
It has.
The removal of Coach K and Roy Williams gone. I mean, those programs are still obviously very good, but they're no longer world beaters like they were 5 years ago.
No, absolutely not. And, Miami's probably the best team in the ACC.
Right.
And they proved that in the tournament last year. People didn't believe me when I said that.
You love Coach
Larinaga.
Yeah. I love that guy.
I said going into the tournament, I was like, Miami's the best team in the ACC. And people were like, no, it's Duke. Come on. Of course it's Duke. It's always Duke. It was Miami. Yep. I was proven right. Put it down. Write it down.
Was me.
It was me. So you got Miami. Clemson was good last year. Duke, UNC, Syracuse, and Wake had a solid year last year. I might be forgetting someone who had a good. Oh, Virginia.
They were pretty good. Yeah.
So it's not top heavy, but it's very open.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Syracuse could find their way into that upper echelon of ACC teams. We'll have to see, but it's going to be a fun year for basketball in Syracuse. We're going to take a timeout, come back, talk about some high school sports and more, including your phone calls. 315-671-1260 if you want to call in. Call during the breaks, and we will get you on the air. 315-671-1260. This is Outside the Box Score with me, Mark Rowlands, right here on the Score 1260.
Ben Franklin was a fraud.
Ben Franklin was a fraud.
Let me tell you something about Liberty, Mark. You guys want to know about Liberty? Did you see the other day that I sent it into the chat that Al Pacino's having another kid?
Yes.
With some 22-year-old woman.
And she's 28.
Okay. Yeah.
Who also dated oh god, it was like,
oh no, Nicholas or something, or Nicholson?
No, it wasn't Nicholson.
Oh no.
One of them was a billionaire. She dated some billionaire old
She's
guy.
Just hopping around.
And the other one was another actor. I don't know if it was De Niro, but it was someone like that. Another really old actor. And I was like, oh my God.
She's just hopping around.
She's the most obvious, biggest gold digger of all time.
She's a crooner hunter, baby.
Yeah.
She's like, I love the 40s, baby. Tell me all about it. What was it like back
Tony Bennett?
Yeah, tell me what it was. How was it?
Yeah, I gotta look up.
Mark, I'm having another kid, Mark.
No, Al, stop it. You're 98 years old.
A lot of people ask me what I'm doing at my baby shower at 92. And I tell them this thing still works.
Noor Alfala.
Okay, that's her name.
Her name, yeah. Noor Alfala dating timeline. Here we go.
Oh, jeez.
It was Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood, who's even older than Al Pacino.
Get off my lawn and get in my pants.
And Mick Jagger.
Jesus, this guy, he is real.
Clint Eastwood, Al Pacino, Mick Jagger.
Which is crazy that as she gets older, she's not like, I really should settle down with someone my age. She's like, no, let's find more dying celebrities.
Yeah.
I mean, the goal is you just stick with one long enough, kind of like Al, to have a kid and hope that they die.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's the cash-in.
Yeah, that's absolutely the cash-in.
Their family hates you, but who cares? Is Noor? I mean, she looked fine on her headshot. I saw she's pretty good looking.
Yeah, she's attractive.
I mean, Al Pacino's tapping.
Apparently, she's a producer, like a film producer. I've never heard.
I worked on her on that one where I hunted Nazis. Mark, you know the one. I forget the name on Amazon. She worked with me.
Let's see what she's.
Gotta be an Al Pacino joint. Gotta be.
No, she's done 2 things.
Okay, that makes way more sense then. Yeah. She's listed as a producer on
one of them. They're
And-
both short films.
Yeah, that makes way more sense. She's trying to get into the business.
Yeah, she's producing a movie. Oh God, it's called Little Death, and it stars David Schwimmer.
And Al Pacino.
No, Al isn't in it. Yeah, you got Ross from Friends in your movie. Congratulations. And then another one called Billy Knight. Oh, that one Al's in.
Bingo!
She's got one with Al.
Of course she does. Oh, hey baby, can you be in my movie? Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that stars Al Pacino, Patrick Schwarzenegger, Arnold's son.
My going rate's $4 million.
Directed by Alec Griffin Roth, who has directed nothing.
Oh.
But yeah, everything I see, it's like, oh yeah, film producer, and I'm like, I've never. What has she done?
I'm a film producer.
Yeah,
I do some small films.
It's like
you ever see that 7-minute documentary I did on whatever?
Tom Wilson, the guy that plays Biff from Back to the Future.
Yeah.
He does a song about all the questions he gets asked about being in Back to the Future.
Oh, God.
It's very funny, and one of the questions is, what does a producer do? He just goes, I don't know.
I mean,
man who's been in many films. No idea.
It seems like the most useless.
And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, right here on the Score 1260, your home for local sports in Syracuse. Josh Boehme joining me in the studio.
Hey.
Make sure to, by the way, check out our Twitch stream and live on the Score 1260 YouTube channel. Go over there, subscribe to the channel, like the stream, leave a comment. You can talk to us during the breaks, during the show, all of that good stuff. Great way to interact with us. Make sure to check that out. I'm so happy we got the Score 1260 YouTube channel up and running.
Yeah, it's back.
It's back. It's back, baby. I don't know what that voice was, and I apologize. Anyway, let's talk about some local sports. Sectional finals wrapping up over the course of this past week. AA baseball, Liverpool taking home the baseball championship, beating Christian Brothers Academy CBA 11-5. Big. I'd say pretty big upset. Liverpool's always been a good program. CBA, though, has been essentially a dynasty. In baseball in recent years.
Catholics, they ball.
They are so good. I mean, they had a coach. Oh God, I'm gonna blank on his name. He coached there for like 50 years. Similar to my high school had a coach for 50 years, Bob Southworth, and I think it was 40. No, he might have gotten to 50.
Jeez.
Coaching the team. Yeah, he did. Actually, he coached for 50 years.
That's incredible.
And yeah, they had a coach for very similar thing. I got to look this up. Because the fact that his name is not coming to me bothers the hell out of me. And really, I've met him too. Like, I've met him on multiple occasions because we used to play CBA, and God, that's gonna bug me. I'll look it up in a bit. But CBA is a longtime baseball powerhouse, and they were very much the favorite to win sectionals this year. And yeah, Liverpool scoring 11 runs, and here's how it broke down. CBA got off to a. Are you looking around for the beeping?
Yeah, what is that?
It's down here.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I thought a bomb's going off.
No,
what the hell's happening?
There's a device in the studio that beeps.
You saw me
every once in a while, yeah. And Josh was just like, "What the hell is this?"
I'm going crazy.
Yeah, it'll stop in a second.
Oh yeah.
It's really it only happens when the mics are up. I swear to God, it never does it when we're just like sitting in here.
Yeah.
It's always when the mics are hot.
All right.
And I don't know if you can hear it over air. But yeah, there's a annoying beeping sound going on in the studio. Anyway, CBA got out to a 5-0 lead in the first inning. Stayed that way until the fourth. Then Liverpool really it stopped.
Yeah.
Liverpool really put the hammer down. 3 runs in the 4th, 2 in the 5th, 3 in the 6th, 3 in the 7th. So they just went absolutely nuts. Nathan Benjamin went 4 for 5 in the game. He had 3 singles, a triple. Didn't drive in any runs. They only had 9 RBI on the 11 runs they scored. Jack Hopp with 3 ribbies. Christopher Baker with a couple. Chaz Anthony III with 2 RBIs. And Gianni Toscano with 2 RBIs. Leading the way for Liverpool. They only had 3 runs driven in on their 5 runs scored. Ryan Petrie, Ethan Harris, and Luke Boole all tossing in an RBI. Big game in the sectional championship game. Interesting pitching line here for Liverpool. Nathan Benjamin started the game. I mentioned he went 4 for 5. He started the game on the mound through 2/3 of an inning and then was relieved by Jack Hopp, who threw 6 in the 3rd.
Well, yeah, we got shelled. Kid got shelled. The first one, right? Benjamin gave up 5?
No.
Wait, he just pitched the 2.
Yeah, he got,
ended up coming in and giving up the runs?
He got 2 outs. Then Hopp came in, gave up 5 runs. only one of them earned, and then finished the game. What? Is this in here wrong? This seems like this is in here wrong.
Benjamin gave up the first 4 then, right? I mean, you'd imagine.
No, it must be Hop started the game and then Benjamin came in for the last 2 outs. That must be what it is. But Syracuse.com has it flipped where it says the first pitcher threw 2/3 of an inning, didn't give up a hit, and then Jack Hopp came in and finished the game.
Maybe he got injured. I mean, that's the only, maybe.
But
he batted still. Yeah,
he went 4 for 5. I don't know, man. Syracuse.com is like the only resource for the high school stuff around here, and sometimes they get a little screwy. Luke Boole started the game for CVA. He pitched 5 innings, gave up 5 earned runs. Jamesville DeWitt won in Class A. They won 5-0. Baldwinsville taking the Class A championships in lacrosse. I'm sorry. Yeah, these are both lacrosse now. Baldwinsville being Liverpool, who won sectionals in baseball, and they lost sectionals in lacrosse in the final game, 16-7. Big time goal scoring game for Beeville. They ended up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different players scored a goal in that game, led by Garrett Sutton, who had 4 goals and an assist. Ignacio Lemedico.
Oh, hell yes.
What a name!
Ignacio
Lemedico had 3 goals as well. They led the way for Baldwinsville. In terms of Liverpool scoring, they had 4 players score a goal. Joseph Sacco had 2. Mason Gridley had 1. Brady Michaud and Aaron Clouthier also had 2 goals apiece. And then in the Class C championships, that's right. Another, not really an upset. These were the top 2 teams in Class C. Jamesville DeWitt beating West Hill 12-10. I was talking to Luke Gilmartin, who I've interviewed on the show before, and I know personally had a great game. He had 6 goals for West Hill. They scored 10, and he had 6 goals. Charlie DeMore had a goal. Owen Etal had 3 goals. So all 10 goals only came from 3 players. Luke had a great game. This kid,
he's committed to play D1 somewhere, right?
Cornell.
Yeah.
He's going to Cornell, which is one of the top programs.
Right. I knew he was a big name.
Yeah, he's going to go play at Cornell, and he's legitimately one of the best high school athletes I've ever seen.
Yeah.
This kid played golf for 3 years. Was the number 1 or number 2 on the West Hill golf team. Shoots. I played with him. Shoots in the 70s. Good golfer.
Really good golfer. Yeah.
Didn't play his senior year. Decides to play soccer. Leads the team in goals.
Just one of those
on a
athletic freaks.
Yeah, absolute freak. Then he leads his basketball team, starting point guard, state championship. And he's committed to play Division I lacrosse. Yeah. Kid's unreal. Absolutely unreal. That reminds me, we're gonna take another timeout, but when we come back, we're gonna talk about we're gonna go back to Syracuse basketball because there's something I wanted to talk about. Greg Paulus, do you know who he is? The coach at Niagara.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Niagara is coming to the Dome this year.
It's back.
It's back, and we're gonna talk about Greg Paulus because I don't I don't know if you know the
Oh, I'm
history of Greg
excited.
Paulus.
I do not.
He's a Syracuse guy. He went to CBA. He went to Christian Brothers Academy.
Oh,
And very interesting story. So I want to talk about Greg Paulus when
All
we
right.
come back. So quick timeout. Come back, talk about some Greg Paulus here on Outside the Box Score with me, Mark Rowlands. Phone line's still open, by the way, 315-671-1260, right here on the Score 1260.
Rivalries coming back that are like hard to build rivalry. That's one that people were going crazy online for it.
Yeah.
I saw
It's not even so much like it's a massive rivalry. It's
because
a
Q's
lot.
kind of owns them.
Yeah, it's a lot of it is because of Greg Paulus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has he talked a lot of crap? I take it.
Not even. It's just there's a very interesting history with him as it relates to Syracuse University. I gotta look up this baseball coach.
The beeping. I thought like someone's getting in. There's like somebody brooming over there. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Like somebody's getting in the building. What's going on here?
Tom Dotterer. That's his name. Jesus. Yeah,
boy.
He went through hell. Like he was robbed at gunpoint, shot.
That guy?
Yeah.
What? What?
Yeah, he was
just a tough.
He was 77.
And he got robbed at gunpoint?
Yeah.
Recently? That had to be.
Well,
recently,
it was
77.
like, no, that was like 10 years ago. He's like 87 now.
Dude,
I don't know if he's still the coach. He was as of 2 years ago.
85?
Yeah.
That's so tough. If you gotta, it'd be hard to be a high school athlete and listen to an 85-year-old man tell me how to do anything.
He's so well respected, though. Like
I guess actually I say that, but also if I came in knowing like, holy crap, this dude's been here forever. They obviously have been very good for a long time. Like maybe I would have that.
Yeah.
But I'm sure some people are like, this dude's fucking.
Yeah, there hasn't been anything about him, like any articles written about him or anything in 2 years. But he was
Tommy boy.
He was 2 years ago. He's still coaching the team at 85 years old.
That's out of control.
Yeah, very nice guy. I mean,
sure,
nicest guy in the world. But yeah, he's absolute madman. What was I gonna do? Oh yeah, Greg Paulus.
Oh yeah, Greg Paulus. I'm glad I didn't read more onto it then. I just saw the articles about Niagara coming back, and I saw one like quick stat sheet, which was like Niagara's lost. I mean, 100. Syracuse leads at like 92-40 or something.
Yeah, well, he might be the greatest high school athlete in the history of Syracuse.
Okay, how long's he been at Niagara?
Only a few years. He started coaching there in 2019. He's only 36.
So he's the one who wanted to bring this back.
Yeah, he's only 36 years old. He's very young. Yeah, he went to Duke from 05 to 09.
Oh, he was a Duke player.
Yeah.
Okay. So remember this guy's going to coach a much bigger program at some point.
Oh yeah. Yeah, okay. Niagara is very much just a stepping stone for him.
Yeah. Win a couple.
He's already been an assistant at Ohio State and Louisville.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So this is his first head coaching job.
Yeah, this is his first head coaching job.
They're in the MAC, right? Niagara. Or are they in the MEAC? Metro one.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, they're in the MAC.
Yeah. Win a couple MACs, try and beat down.
I've had to explain multiple times why I say it like that.
I'm sure if you say it, Lurch be like, "What are you doing, Mark?
Yeah.
What are you doing?"
I always I don't say it as
sure,
but I'm like, yeah, in the MAC. He's like, why do you hold it out? Because I'm like, there's the MAC, and the MAC.
It's 2 A's.
It's
Jim.
2 A's.
Jim, can I tell you something?
Let me tell you something, Jim.
Back in my day, there was one MAC, and now they added a second.
Yeah.
Have you played this course today earlier, by the way? Or
yeah.
We're playing later?
Yeah, I've played it. It's okay.
Cow pasture. Now,
no, it's not a cow pasture. Like they've got 2 courses there. There's an east-west.
East is the one to play.
Yeah,
that's what I heard.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I've played both.
Are we playing the East? Do you know?
Probably. If he's a member, I assume we're playing the East. And they're both public, but.
Well, right.
Yeah, I've played both, and the problem is it's out in Bridgeport. Okay. It's a little swampy, so the course.
Should be great now, then
Yeah, the course might be. And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, right here on the Score 1260. Your home for local sports in Syracuse. We're going to talk Greg Paulus. Now, I just told Josh, so you knew like nothing about this guy.
Very little.
So Greg Paulus is now the head coach at Niagara. Niagara's coming back to play in the Dome this year, which I'm probably going to go to that game. Because Greg Paulus, Josh, might be the greatest high school athlete in Syracuse history.
Where'd he go? What school?
He went to Christian Brothers Academy.
Okay.
Tom Dottimer, by the way,
yes.
was the head coach. I looked that up during the break. That was really making me mad. But he went to CBA out in Manlius, and he had two options coming out of high school. Do I want to be the starting point guard at Duke, or do I want to be the starting quarterback at Notre Dame?
Okay.
Those were his two options.
Okay.
He could have played quarterback at Notre Dame or point guard at Duke.
Coming from a CBA, too.
Coming
so
from
Notre
CBA.
Dame is probably a pretty big thing for him.
Oh, yeah.
Just religion background, whatever that is. Okay. He chooses basketball, obviously.
Chooses basketball. Plays 4 years at Duke. And granted, his career at Duke was not what it could have been. Okay. His college numbers are good, but they're not like, he was one of the top. He won a Gatorade Athlete of the Year.
In college?
No, in high school.
In high school. Okay.
Like coming out of high school, he was one of the top high school athletes in the country.
Okay.
Not just,
massive prospect.
Yeah, massive prospect.
Yep.
And so he goes and he becomes the starting point guard at Duke, plays 4 years. He only, it's funny. He started for his first 3 years, and he was good. And then his senior year, he didn't start. All of a sudden, he was coming off the bench. Nolan Smith took over and played point guard for Duke. And so he plays 4 years at Duke.
Yep.
Then he decides to become a grad transfer in football.
Notre Dame.
Syracuse.
Oh.
He becomes the starting quarterback for Syracuse.
For 1 year.
For 1 year. He was the starting quarterback for Syracuse. 67% completion percentage, 2,000 yards, and 13 touchdowns. After playing 4 years of college basketball.
Hadn't played football in 4 years.
Hadn't played football in 4 years.
And Syracuse, well, I guess the program's a lot different now. But yeah, and they gave him the quarterback job.
I will say, well, those numbers are good. He also has a Big East record, 5 interceptions in one game against South Florida. So it was a little up and down, but he hadn't played football in 4 years.
So that would be 2010 that he did that?
Yeah, 2010.
So it was post McNabb, obviously.
Yes, post McNabb, pre Ryan Nassib.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
Right, yeah. Gotcha.
And so then he tried out with the Saints. Was not offered a contract.
So then he was done with basketball.
With basketball. Tried to be a pro football player.
Yeah. After
4 years of college basketball, and didn't quite. He didn't make it. He was invited to mini camps and stuff. Unreal. Then in 2010, after mini camp with the Saints, he becomes an assistant basketball coach in Navy.
Okay. And just hopping back and forth.
Wild career for Greg Paulus. Keep in mind, like I said, when he was in high school at CA, won the state championship. They played at the Dome. And he was New York State Mr. Basketball. He won the state championship in football.
Yeah.
And like I said, Gatorade Athlete of the Year nationally. Not in New York, nationally. They were playing New Rochelle High School in the state championship game.
Okay.
Led by Ray Rice.
Rochelle. Ray Rice.
Rochelle. Ray Rice. 41-35 in the state championship game. He beat
he's beaten a lot of things.
Like
Jeez. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Ray Rice also transferred to football.
He did, but he won state championship in football, beating Ray Rice in the Carrier Dome, and won New York State Mr. Basketball. Greg Paulus coming to the Dome should be a massive deal. Like, Greg Paulus should be the prodigal son of Syracuse, New York.
why? I mean, were there probably questions back then of why not Syracuse? I mean, 2005, they were hot. They just won the Natty a couple
But
years before.
yeah,
Like,
I
it was almost too
agree.
small still for him at that time, or like,
What's that?
was it almost still too small?
That's the thing.
It was.
It was
It was
Duke.
beneath him at the time. Yeah,
Like
true.
he became the starting point guard at Duke, or he could have been the starting quarterback at Notre Dame,
Yeah, so
which
Syracuse
might
wasn't
be
even.
the most coveted position in all of college football is quarterback at Notre Dame.
Yeah,
I mean,
even now.
yeah, even
yes.
now, it's
Yep.
still like, Notre Dame has that, that pull, like it, obviously Alabama, Georgia, those are the teams that are
Mhm.
winning national championships. Notre Dame's the biggest team in college football.
Yes. Yes.
100. They have the biggest fan base. I mean, there's a million Notre Dame fans in Syracuse.
Oh yeah, probably the biggest. What do they call it? Donors that aren't donors technically. Like when they.
Yeah, boosters.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's Notre Dame.
Yeah.
So I don't blame him for saying, yeah, I'm not going to go to Syracuse. But he ended up coming here to play football, obviously. But what I was going to say is he should be the prodigal son of Syracuse. This should be a sold-out game for Greg Paulus returning to the Dome.
I'm sure they'll do something for him. Or some
but
sort
here's
of
the thing.
video package or something.
It won't be a sellout.
Mm-mm.
And I doubt he gets the massive standing ovation he deserves. Greg Paulus should be one of the great legends in Syracuse history in the way he's discussed.
Yeah.
And I've always thought of him as that because it's unreal, the career that this man had in college, coming out of CBA.
What a freak. I've never even heard of this. I
Yeah.
mean, this is
one of the unreal freak athletes.
What?
But he's 6'1". It's not like he's 6'5",
Yeah, the build.
He's a small guy. Like, in relatively, obviously,
Sure.
he's taller than me. But, he's 6'1", 180. Like, just a unassuming, not a very big guy.
Has all the choices in the world.
Yeah.
The most impressive part is obviously not touching a football. I mean, sure, he's passing, right, but not touching a football.
Not playing organized football for 4 years and becoming the starting quarterback at Syracuse.
That's
completing
crazy.
67% of his
That's absolutely
passes.
crazy. Say what you want about the football program at Syracuse. They were still better than that to hire a guy that was. But, I mean, sure, he's still a freak. So I get it. But, like, it's not like he just got the hometown discount.
Yeah.
That guy's great at anything he does. And that's wild.
And he should get the biggest standing ovation at the Dome. And I
want to go give him a standing ovation.
Yeah, I don't know if he will, and that upsets me. I think Syracuse fans, and I know he played for Duke, whatever. This is one of the great athletes that this area has ever seen.
I think it's up to the university to kind of do what you just did to me. You just teached me who Greg Paulus is. You showed me who it is, and I want it. I want all of Greggy. I'm rooting for Niagara this year in the MAC. That's who I want.
Yeah, them and Quinnipiac, of course, in the final.
Yeah, of course, Bobcats.
We go Bobcats. Nunez, if you're listening, go Bobcats. But yeah, he's unreal.
They got to start.
I want to get him on the show before that game. I'm gonna see if I can get him on the show because I would love to talk to Greg Paulus.
The university already did the big, like, the rivalries back. They're already promoting it like that. They could really sell this thing as, I mean, they don't have the Georgetown game this year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this could be their local rivalry
the
of the
return
year.
Of Greg Paulus.
And the return of the Niagara rivalry. It could be a big thing for them for sure.
Yeah, it should be, and I hope it is. We've got one more timeout we're going to take. We'll come back and wrap up the show in just a couple of minutes here on Outside the Box Score with me, Mark Rowlands, on the Score 1260.
I get it's Niagara. You're going to win by 30, probably. Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
Whatever. But, I mean,
it's a
massive. Dude, I had no clue.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Oh.
Yeah, here we go. Awards and honors on his Wikipedia
in high
page.
School or just in general?
Just in general.
Okay.
Gatorade Male Athlete of the Year for all sports.
Yeah.
Gatorade New York State Player of the Year. 4-time All-State. All-American in 2005. New York State Mr. Basketball. 2004 National Football Player of the Year. So that was the year before he won in all sports. He was the National Football Player of the Year. Junior national team in basketball in 2005. And then in college, All-American, freshman All-American at Duke for basketball.
What?
All-tournament second team in the ACC tournament. All-ACC in 07-08. Third team academic All-American in 08 and 09. And 3-time ACC All-Academic. So he's smart, and he's an unreal athlete.
So, what it really questions is, how did he piss Coach K off to not start his senior year? I get the numbers dropped obviously in the third year because he went all ACC in his second year, is what you said, right?
Well, yeah, and it was like.
So what happened?
So here his
in that
numbers.
third year?
As a freshman, he only scored 7 points a game
Sure.
and averaged 5 assists.
Yep.
Sophomore, 12 points a game, 4 assists, couple of rebounds. Junior, 11 points a game, 3 assists. Like, it was just.
That's where he was.
Yeah,
and Coach
that's
K
just.
saw it.
Yeah, that was what Greg Paulus was. And, he was a good 3-point shooter as well.
Mm-hmm.
But he just never got to that next
superstar
tier.
takeover team.
He should have been coming out of high school. He should have been a superstar. He should have been I'm just trying to think of
So he just wasn't going to get drafted. Is what it is.
No.
Okay. Yeah.
No, he wasn't gonna. He wasn't going to be an NBA player.
Because I think of the great busts. Like, it's hard to even call him a bust. It's not. He's not a bust. He just never even did that.
Yeah.
That wasn't his thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he was honestly so unbustable that he just picked another sport to go be really good at.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, because obviously I love bringing up Jason Bonsignor all the time.
Yeah.
His greatest busts
Mm-hmm.
in probably in New York and in Rochester, of course. In America. In American sports, he is the greatest bust.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's not even a bust. This guy was just really talented who just never really got there.
Yeah.
So it's hard to admit.
Which kind of sucks. And I know he had some like foot problems and stuff too.
Okay.
It's
gotta be injuries or
it
almost feels like at that point it'd be like just like a confidence thing or something. Like that. You can't. It's hard to say he doesn't have confidence. He won all these friggin' accolades.
But he's one of the most interesting people from Syracuse.
You got to get him on the show.
Yeah, I want to. I got to. I'll do it. In basketball season. I want to do it before the Niagara game. But I would love to sit down and talk to Greg Paulus just about everything. Like, what an interesting life.
Yeah,
he's still only 36.
Right, and he's a guy. He's a guy.
Yeah.
It's not like you'd be bringing on some old hat who's like been coaching now for whatever. No, his glory days were 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, right here on the Score 1260, your home for local sports in Syracuse. Yeah, that's Greg Paulus.
What a guy. I'm just thinking, how did I not hear about this guy? I get like next level stuff, but I'm local enough.
Yeah,
you heard about this guy.
Yeah, that's the thing is, people around here know who he is, obviously.
Yep.
But he should be. I mean, I read off. Great. Now I gotta go back to his Wikipedia because I read off his like awards and honors that that's on his Wikipedia page. Male Athlete of the Year in all sports. 2005 Gatorade New York State Player of the Year in football. 4-time All-State. All-American in 2005 according to McDonald's, Parade, EA, and Student Sports. So in 4 different publications, he was an All-American. New York State Mr. Basketball. Oh, that was as a senior. He was also the Gatorade National Football Player of the Year that year. New York State Mr. Basketball his junior year, he was the National Football Player of the Year. So he was New York State Mr. Basketball as a senior and all best football player in the country as a junior.
What a guy.
Absolutely unreal. Greg Paulus, if you're listening, come on the show. That's going to wrap things up. Another great show here on Outside the Box Score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse on the Score 1260. Josh, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me, Mark.
And we'll be back next week. Same time, same channel, 11 a.m. right here on the Score. Peace.